Welcome, everybody, to a very intimate conversation with Dr. Wow, WOW, woman of the world, woman of wisdom, whatever have you. This is an intimate conversation with Professor of Psychiatry, Dr. Agnes Bueno.
Hi, Jake.
Ah.
Hello.
Kala ko hindi ko na masasabi ang ano yung
Ano?
pangalan mo, but this is a test. If you are listening, we're having we're creating, and we're letting you in the process of how we're uh, coloring or picturing or photographing a perfect show for the audience, right?
Right.
Right. So what do you see in the picture ba? Explain natin sa kanila.
What do I see?
Yes.
About what? The picture of what?
The picture or how you envision how the conversation or how the show will be.
Well, it's like talking to somebody with some amount of intimacy that you don't usually talk about in the usual social conversations.
Ano ba ang
Di
word
ba?
na
In social conversations, you just say the proper things. You say what the other person likes to hear. You you pretend that you know that which you're not. Kasi that's socializing, di ba? Socializing, socialize.
so merong lies sa social.
Yes, of course. So
Social social
itong atin,
lying.
walang lies. It's not socializing. It's a form of intimacy na which is not very common, right? It's not very common to be talking intimately with any one person except someone who is close to you, isn't it? That's why it's intimate.
Yeah. So does
Uh-uh.
intimacy only happen between two people or
Only between two people, of course, unless you want to go into a menage a trois, then in that case you don't converse at all, but you just go into action, right? So intimacy necessarily means it's just the two of you, you know, just in isolation, the two of you, and you're talking about certain matters that you don't usually talk about in public. That's why it's called intimate.
I
Like
see. Well,
intimate.
you painted it correctly because Dr. Agnes Bueno was the one who actually gave me the idea that we need to set the tone or the hue for the set. Or that's why she's, as you can see, we're giving you a more, an intimate set production where our background is darker, and then we speak a little slower so that there'll be more it's more intimate as they say, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I guess one of the a lot of questions, okay, talking about intimacy, my two dogs are having an intimate moment right
Your
before
two.
me. If I My two dogs, may dalawang asa dito,
Oh,
they're humping each other this afternoon.
oh,
I think they're getting the vibe.
oh. I see.
I see.
Okay. So,
No,
dogs are really better because they have they don't have any social uh, hang-ups. Mhm.
correct, correct, correct.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, this is a very interesting topic to a lot of people. In fact, to be honest, a couple of my friends have already reached out to me, and they're looking forward to, the conversations that we can come up with. And
Mhm.
since this is an exploration, Dr. Agnes, um, you know, do you want to tackle in this now that we have this this platform, what do you really want to talk about? What initial, what do you want to talk, to have an interjection on what we're gonna have in the coming months?
First of all, since being intimate usually connotes some kind of sexual tension or sexual attraction. That's the basic drive of man, no? And what's happening is women themselves, I've discovered, don't know their sexuality. Some who have already 5 kids, for example, would ask me what an orgasm is all about. Come on, they have 5 kids already, but they're so ignorant about their own pleasures. So how can you live a life wherein you've given birth to kids and you don't know how to be pleasured at all because perhaps the sexual partner is not even cognizant of giving pleasure, just using the woman. And that's what I feel a bit concerned about, that you don't want to live your life not utilizing a gift, which is that women are really very sexual beings. But society, of course, since time immemorial, has clamped the sexual uh, drive or the propensity of
Libido.
women to be sexual, you know, because women are naturally gifted with having the capacity for multiple orgasm, which a lot of women don't even know they can have. And and what I have also discovered is it can be genetic. Like frigidity can be genetic. Actually, not that no matter what you do, they don't really have the capability to have orgasms because that's the female mystique. You can only bring out that what you call G spot or the spot of a woman's pleasure if the woman desires a man or a woman or whoever. The component of desire must be there. But see, I have discovered that women only get married because they have to get married, they want children, or they have to, the biological need, but then they have no real true desire for the man. You know what I mean? So that is very sad for me as I've went through the years. And women would sometimes, because I set up this human sexuality clinic designed for women. And it really surprised me that many women don't know how to be pleasured sexually. So that's I made a verb out of a noun.
When
So
you
I think
say,
I'm the only one.
yeah, yeah,
I'm the
but
only
when
one who's using it as a verb.
okay, so you mean
Yeah.
to say, but you can't really generalize that now. I think the younger generation would probably be more, has have probably less hang up than the older generation. Am I correct?
No, I think they are in a. I think it's most of my teenage patients. They just make out without even knowing the guy, and then they come to me very disturbed because, as an afterthought, they think about how they're feeling about the guy, but then the guy is no longer in their orbit. So it's devoid. It's devoid or empty of anything else except the mating, which is not even proper for a human being because they don't know each other. They just meet at a bar and then they make out and then goodbye. Oh, right? I mean, they're missing out on a lot of pleasurable things about uh, intimate relationships. So that is becoming a problem too at this time, right? Whereas before, we have strict parents, we have, very conservative values. Now it's the opposite poles. And most of the time, parents are not aware that their kids about 12, 13, 14 are already making out with strangers, and then they get disturbed when they suddenly realize the feeling that goes along with having sex or making out with a guy.
Well, uh, talking about that, no, I left. Somebody sent me a message yesterday concerning this. But do you know what is the the age for sexual consent for teenagers here in the Philippines?
It's 18.
18 ba?
18, but yeah, I've encountered 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old girls who've actually been sexually active without their parents knowing about it.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
So the change would be, you can see that throughout the years when you started your practice, or when you were teaching in the universities, that there had been some sort of evolution in terms of the openness, or the how people have explored their sexuality.
Sorry, I didn't get
Yeah,
that much
so
because the noises in the construction near my
yeah.
house.
It's a good thing that we don't hear that construction. But I'm
Okay.
curious where, if through your years of teaching in the university, are the students, have they been more interested, or have they been more open in their sexuality?
They're not open in the sense that they talk about it. You know, they when asked about it, they just respond in a matter of fact way. You know, well, I made out with this guy, blah blah. I squirted on this guy. I made love through Skype or FaceTime. See, things. It's like that. There is no real intimacy, actually, which I think they're missing out a lot on. You know, like the romance. I don't think they even experience yung tinatawag na courtship, what they call courtship or nililigawan. They don't even know if a guy is nililigawan sila, right? I mean, of course you would know, isn't it? I mean, men should at least express their intentions, isn't it? And I also don't like that idea that it should be the male. You know, I wrote a book wherein, you know, it's like some kind of allegorical, metaphorical story that it should be the woman who should choose a man of her desire and send cues, and the guy should be able to read those cueings, you know, and that is what little boys or young men should be taught, is how to respond to the cueing of somebody else that they want, you know, they desire him. So if he wants the girl or the guy for that matter, then he can respond accordingly. Because you know what, a woman has really to be pleasured. You know, if you know how to pleasure your woman, she can do wonders for you. You know, she
Yeah,
can do miracles.
I'll give a little bit of this is what my take on, or what how I understand this. I think a relationship kasi is, it's not work. No, it has to come naturally, obviously. But in relationship, there's wooing. You don't wake up in the morning and say, okay, gotta work. you know I'm going to step out of the house, I'm going to work like robots. I think if you want to maintain also a relationship, there is communication is telling your partner that, okay, I am pleasured this way, this gets me hot, this gets me going. You have to be able to say, this turns me on, or when you touch my hand, this is where I get really kilig. But I think communication kasi is not, I mean, that's what I think where the problem is, where when you don't communicate your love, your dismay, when your frustration, this is where the seed of the problem is. And even when you say that, you know, that kasi when there's an open line, you can also communicate how you want to be maneuvered into being turned on. Am I correct? Or what do you think of
Yes,
that?
actually, that's always what I say. Is every person or every woman, for that matter, is different. If your ex girlfriend, for example, was stimulated more by her left breast, your next girlfriend might prefer the right breast. So if you
Yeah.
keep going for the left breast, you're you're going to disappoint your girlfriend. So that girlfriend should be able to tell him or lead him or drive him or push him towards her right breast without even talking about it, because sometimes if you talk too much about it, then it cancels out the desire. It has to be spontaneous. It has to be mostly action and grunts and noises of pleasure. You don't talk about it while you're doing it, right? I mean, that's it. The talking should come before and the after, right? But while you are in ecstasy, oh, there's no room for talking. You
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to go
just
with the
go ahead
flow.
and just be comfortable with it and be wild about it. Why not? So if you cannot be that way, what's the point of having sex? You might as well just read a book, right? Or be
Yeah.
alone. Just be
Or watch
alone.
porn.
What for? What for? You're missing perhaps 99% of your life if you haven't experienced the ecstasy of sexual pleasure by someone you truly desire, not someone you have just checked to be who has a lot of money, he has this profession. You have to be able to feel that kind of sexual tension, and it should be the woman who should feel it first, not the man, because men are easy. They have their testosterone. Come on, it's so easy to attract a guy, but a woman, my gosh, ah, you'll be amazed that men are really so ignorant about the female mystique, you know, because precisely it's that. If a woman does not desire, then her spot or her desirable spot within her genitals or breast or whatever part of her body, they are not going to come out.
Well,
It's
I,
only when she desires that, doctors Masters and Johnson discovered that if you're not desirous of your sexual partner, your G spot's not going to come out. You're going to be dry and non-responsive.
well,
But if
that I understand that perfectly, because it's not the woman. Men only sort of like penetrate, but if the woman is not open or is not, nothing will flow.
See, that's the other fallacy of men, is they think it's penetration. It's
Yes.
not.
No,
It's
that's what.
not. It's not the size. Although of
Yeah.
course, you
No,
don't
yeah,
want an
yeah. But
infantile
what I'm driving here,
penis, but
what I'm driving though here is that without the woman opening up, that will not be pleasurable to her.
do you know that you can have orgasms even if it's just your breast that's
Yes, yes,
being
I understand that.
fondled? You don't have to penetrate the genitalia.
Yes, yes, yes. But what I'm saying there is that
Yeah.
if she's not desiring what you're giving, she will not give it to you.
Yes.
The one controlling it is the woman. Kasi
You'll be in a desert. Yeah.
oo, kasi ano yun eh, parang nakikita natin that the man is the one giving the play. If the woman doesn't like it, you're not driving it. It's the woman who gives you that.
Even if the man is a Lothario and has had a
Yes,
thousand girlfriends,
correct.
there will still be one woman he cannot satisfy, because that woman is not telling him or leading him to her pleasure. Or
Correct.
if she is truly frigid, if she's
Mm-mm.
frigid, oh gosh, no matter what you do, there's nothing there.
this is an amazing topic, and probably we'd really like to be able to invite the people who are listening who just chimed in, and we're going to drop this interview on YouTube. We are going to explore these intimate conversations with Dr. Wow, and you may be able to chime in during the Q&A. Actually, the platform is that we open a topic, and then you can just call in and chime in real time the questions that you would like to ask, and Dr. Agnes Bueno will try to answer them as well. This has been a this is just an initial thing that we're trying to explore. um, I'd like to be also to be able to ask you, are these experience something that you have being uh, uh, a psychotherapist and a psychoanalyst, Dr. Agnes? Have you used these wisdom to your personal use?
Well, they come to me because they have problems. Usually it's relationship problems, rigidity problems. The men, they bring their mistresses to me. The men, they want to be reassured if they are of the right size. Of course, these are the things that come into my clinic because I am the first to put up a sexuality clinic in the Philippines. Where do you go for your sexual problems? Kabarkada? Magbobolahan lang kayo eh. You know, magpataasan ng, something.
So
And
I guess ang question ko din doon is that all these wisdom that you know about your sexuality, have you explored them personally?
I've studied them. I hope I am truly a very sexual, sensual woman. I have seen so many women and men with problems that are very serious, like how wanting to kill oneself because this woman has abandoned them. And lo and behold, it's because he's missing the sex from that woman. No one can replace her her vagina or her genitalia. So it all boils down to this basic thing, which is the libido, the drive that makes people want to live. It's not anything else. You can even not miss food at all, but sex, oh, you can go crazy just missing somebody sexually. But then again, at the same time, if you are not desirous of anyone, it's better to read a book or go to the spa and have a massage. That's more gratifying than, oh my God, getting married and then be that way. What what a punishment. What sin have you committed to be punished in that way? When actually nature has gifted you with a full capacity to be sexual and sensual. And as I say, you're missing out a lot if you have not experienced those matters, but in the right way. See, you cannot just go around. Uh, I can't use those terms. You cannot just go around having sex with anyone. It has to be with desire, with someone you really, really, truly want to be proximal with, someone you can hardly wait to hold or to touch or to just be proximal to her. So if it's not that way, come on, just go to the park and do some kind of meditation. That would be a lot better, right?
I love,
Otherwise,
yeah,
see.
yeah. That's great
So
advice, Dr. Agnes.
yeah,
Really, I would really, I'd love that we actually jump started how the show would be and could be. And I know that we're still exploring this. And I hope we can build a community of people reaching out to the younger folks as well, so that you can chime in and join this community. If you have questions that are personal, you can get in touch with us through the Q&A and give us a DM, a direct message as well. We'd love to be able to get the conversation going with you, right?
Yes, right. Yes.
So
And what's in it for you, Jake?
what's in it for me? I see.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, I also come to a stage in my life where I'd never what I discovered, ladies and gentlemen, is never to be too set in what you know. Kasi I don't want to. I have to, I have to always evolve in. I don't want to be too set on the knowledge that I've known,
Boxed in.
on
You don't
boxed
want to be
in,
boxed in.
and I know it's always because when I was younger, I've always been surrounded by aunts and uncles, and somebody always older. I'm always the youngest, but I've come to a stage now that I'm now the oldest, and then I have younger people around me. But even at my age, I'll never. I'm always curious to know what wisdom people have, what kind of wisdom they could pass on to me, and I'll never stop learning. So that's what's in store for me. I'll never stop learning from somebody who has a degree in teaching, in who is a professor, and not only that, but who lives by that word. And I know that you, Agnes, have a lot of things to share to us. So I'll be around.
Okay. I should really hope so. Yes. So I'll see you.
Yeah, I'll see you. And mind you, I will have to say publicly that, with this Shekinah or this glow that you have, the sun piercing from your behind, you look like Brigitte Bardot.
And you look like Alain Delon.
Oh, sige na. Magano tayo, mag-fantasize na lang tayo during this
Mutual
lockdown.
admiration society. That's what I mean. You have to like a person you're transacting with. If you don't like him, well, it's not as fun.
It's not as magical. Yun na nga.
Yes,
We can
yes.
build our own, corner of the world here and just, but this is partly fun, but also giving you hard facts about because of the,
Yeah.
because of
Informative, yes.
informative because
Yes.
Dr. Agnes is a professor. What can I say? Okay, Agnes, we'll drop this
Okay.
and we'll share this on YouTube. We don't know what's gonna happen if we publish this on YouTube as a premiere, and maybe share it also to our friends who follow us on Facebook. Okay, bye bye.
Okay. Okay, bye.